teachers, welcome to this week's weekly video lesson. Now today I want to share with you a special little lesson that we came up with that I love because it answered a lot of problems. So for everyone my students were writing, I would go around the room and I would edit with them and I would make some suggestions of what kind of revision they needed to add. The problem is my kids were never really listening because they were stressing about where they were going to put this. So did you ever have a time when you worked with a student who was actually writing out something and they start to erase the whole page and they're like, no, you don't need to erase, you just need to add. Other times I would try to tell them to skip a line and then somebody started over because they forgot to skip a line 6 lines down. So that frustration was not working and it was making the editing process even more difficult. So what we came up with was what we call editor's tales, and they look something like this. So what I do is when my students start a writing project, and clearly this is when they're writing on paper, because we have a whole host of technology that allows us to cut and paste when my students are writing on computer. But when they're on paper, and I want them to make some revisions, this is how we handle it. At the beginning of the lesson, I always say to my students, up in the front of the room are strips of paper, that anytime I come around and write some feedback on their paper and I want them to add something, just go get a tail. Tape it onto the edge of your paper. Look at how nicely they fold over, like this. And they can put their revision right where it belongs, and it's painless. They get to just add it, because that's really what the lesson is all about. The lesson is about revising and editing and adding to your work. It's not about rewriting your paper. So the editor's tales is a great way to go, and I love to hold up student work and say, wow, look at how much revision this student did. So that's a great little tip. What we're including in the bottom of this lesson for you is a downloadable of student work that has some productive feedback on it. I want you to see what kind of feedback we offer to students when we go around and edit and revise with them. Enjoy the lesson. Hope it's helpful.